All right, so now let's talk about the difference between scripting. Okay, so Unity uses C Sharp as its primary scripting language, and Godot also supports C Sharp. But the primary language, programming language for Godot is GD script. Okay, now it's up to you whether you want to use C Sharp or GD script to program in Godot. But I want to show you a very key difference between the scripting behaviors in Unity and Godot. Okay, so for example, if I have this ball which we had created earlier, now let's say if I want to create a script and add it to my ball. So for example, if I have created this script called ball controller, so what I can do is once this script gets compiled, I can go ahead and add it to the ball itself. So I'll just drag and drop it over here. So now you can see the ball controller has been added to my script. Now, for example, I want to, let's say, detect. So now, for example, if I want to create an additional functionality where, let's say, if I hit space, this ball should jump up. So let's go ahead and try to edit the script. So now I'm here in the Visual Studio, which is the default editor for Unity. So what I have to do is over here, I can add private rigid body and let's say RB. Okay. And on the start, I'm going to say RB is equals to get component rigid body. And for the update, I can just say that if input dot get key down. Okay, and for the key we can say key code dot space. So if I hit space, okay, so what I want to do, I want to make the ball jump up. So rb dot add force. Okay, and for the direction I'm going to say vector3 dot up because I want to make it jump up, and for the force amount let's say I think 10. Okay, and for the force mode let's set it to impulse. Okay, so this is a very basic functionality that I have added, and what it is going to do is obviously when I hit play and if I keep hitting the space button, so it is going to send the ball up because it is going to add a upward impulse force to the ball, right? For now, let's say I want to create another script which is going to destroy when off screen. Okay, so for example, if I want to create another functionality where I want to destroy this ball if that ball goes beyond certain range. So for example, let's say that if the ball goes beyond -12, okay, so if the ball goes beyond -12, I want to destroy this ball. So now I have one script which is added to this ball, right, which is controlling the input behavior. Now I can take the another script and add it to my ball itself. Okay, and for example, let's just quickly add something over here. So I'm not going to use the start, and just for quickly showing you what what my intentions are, so we are going to check that if, okay, transform dot position dot y is smaller than -12. If it is true, then destroy the game object. Okay, so just quickly I have added this code, and what this code is going to do is basically it's going to take the ball into the consideration. Okay, and here is my ball, and what it is going to do is it is going to check every frame that if my ball goes beyond -12, so for now right now it is in the upper side, if I leave it down, it is going down, and once it goes beyond 12, the ball is gone. So this is the script that I had added. So now what I was trying to explain you, that in order to create different functionalities, I was able to add different scripts into the same game object. Okay, now as a Unity developer, if you go to the Godot and try to use the same thing, so this is where problem starts happening, because right now we have this node called rigid body, and let's say that this node is going to be our parent node for our ball. Okay, so let's consider that this is our ball. Okay, so I'm going to rename this as the ball, right? So now if I want to add a script in order to make this ball jump, right? So what can do is either I can right click and I can click here attach script, or I can simply select this node and click over here in order to attach the script. So for example, uh, just say res jump controller. Okay, and now I have added a script called jump controller. And what I want to do now is to listen to every frame, and if the input is there, I want to apply a force. So I can simply say function dot process. Okay, and if input dot is action just pressed, and for this one, let's say if I want UI accept, which I believe is the enter button. So for example, if I want to listen for this one, and if the action is just pressed, then I should be able to apply a force, right? So apply an impulse, and for the direction I'm going to say vector 3 dot up. Okay, and similarly we can add in the value, whatever value that we want, right? And if I hit play, now you can see I can hit space, and the ball is going up. Now you might see this ball is a little being distorted because the camera is too close. Okay, but essentially the functionality is happening same. Now the problem is, if I want, let's say, similar thing, like I can create a new script, and if I want to attach it to my ball game object, let's see what happens. So I'm going to right click on res folder, create new, and I'm going to create a new script. So for the script name, let's say destroy when off screen. So I've given us something similar name. Okay, and this is a script. So if I want to try to attach this script over here, so let's see what happens. So I just dragged and dropped it over here, right? Now if I click on this one, so you can see my jump controller script was replaced with this one. So now the ball node is now referring to this script, the new script that I have created, and the script which I had, another script which I had created, is now replaced, and it is no longer attached to this one. So now what is going to happen, if I hit play, and if I keep pressing the space button, nothing is going to happen, because in Godot, at any given point of time, there is only one script that can be attached to any one node. Okay, so that is the main difference that you have to keep in mind, right? So now for example, let me just go ahead and put back the jump controller. I just dragged and dropped it, and if I click over there, I can see now it is referring to the correct script, and if I hit play, now my node is behaving properly, right? So now in Unity, you saw that we can add multiple scripts into one single game object. But in Godot, we cannot do that. So what we can do is, if I really want to add this script as well to my node, so what I have to do is I have to create a new child node, and this time I'm just going to add a node 3D, because all I want to do is attach a script. So um, destruction controller, let's name this as. So now this is the destruction controller, and now I'm going to drag and drop this. So now our script is attached to this one, right? So now I can just use the process function, which is similar to the update function, and here I can say that if the position of my root node, right? So I'm going to drag this over here, and I have to press and hold control, and if I release, so I'll get this reference to the ball, right? So I'm going to check that if ball dot position dot y is, if it is smaller than -12, then what is going to happen? So q free, and this time I'm going to add the ball as q free. So ball dot q free. So basically what I'm going to do is what I'm doing here is I'm referring to my root node over here. Okay, and for every process, every frame rate, I'm checking if the position is if the position goes beyond -12, then I'm going to destroy the object. So let's see, it's coming like this, and if I pause this right now you can see this is my local view, so I can go over here to the remote view in order to see what is happening in the game. So this is also one more major difference, that in Unity when you hit play you can see all these game objects as in real time. So if the object is there, it is going to be displayed over here, and if the object gets destroyed or any new object gets added, you can see the changes here in real time, right? But in Godot this is not the case. In Godot, uh, by default it is switched to the local mode. So local mode means whatever setup that you had initially before starting the game, it is going to be like that. But if you want to see what is happening in the hierarchy in real time, you have to switch to the remote mode. So here I can see my ball is there, right? And if I just unpause it, and if I try to, right now I'm controlling this ball, and if I let it go away, so now you can see the ball got destroyed. So this is how we create functionalities in Godot, and this is the main difference, and this is the main area where especially the Unity developers who has prior experience with Unity comes to Godot and gets confused, because this is how we work in Godot. This is the Godot's way, and I personally feel like this is much more cleaner approach, because if later if I want to make changes to this structure, I can do that easily. I can go ahead and create this as a complete separate component which I can reuse with other things as well. Okay, so now this was the major differences between the Godot and Unity scripting system. So now let's see how the UI system works within Unity and Godot.